I'm sitting here right now with John Fetterman. He's the mayor of the town of Braddock, Pennsylvania. He's been called revolutionary, trying to rebuild his tiny steel town from the ground up. Mayor Fetterman, great to have you here with us.
Yeah, it's great to be here. I just have to disavow that label. There's nothing revolutionary about it.
Nothing revolutionary. Why do you say that? I mean, you're dealing, John, with a lot of problems in your town, a town where a lot of people have left. You've got high unemployment. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Well, sure. There's definitely a lot of challenges, and it's kind of like a concentrated version of what the country's facing as a whole. You know, we've been making some progress, but the community itself has been through a great deal over the last 30 or 40 years.
I mean, how do you feel when, I think it was Rolling Stones a few years ago called you the mayor of hell? I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, I felt really bad about it because I was about 3 weeks before my primary. no one likes to be called that, but I don't think it's apt. I think it's a tremendous community. That's where I started my family there, but it faces a lot of challenges. You know, we went from a community of over 20,000 residents.
Big steel town at one point.
It's where Andrew Carnegie got his start. His first steel mill it was right there in the town, and now we have under 3,000. So we've lost 90% of our population. Just think, for your viewers, think of it as, since we're in New Orleans, think of it from a very demographic and socioeconomic, just like the Ninth Ward, only we've lost more buildings and more population, basically.
How do you bring it back? And I know you're focusing on like artist communities. You're trying to be very innovative when it comes to technology and the world of green, if you will.
Sure.
How do you get people to come in and really attract corporations and industries?
Well, I mean, we're not in a place where we can go say, hey, Google or Merrill Lynch, we'd like to set up an office or anything like that. But what we are been successful doing is attracting people that really just want to move and be a part of this rebuilding process. So, you know, this is going to take a while. This isn't like an overnight process.
One thing that definitely has helped, and I've read a lot about it, is the Levi ad campaign, and they actually worked with folks within Braddock.
Yeah, everyone in the commercials is a local resident. All the commercials were filmed locally in the area, and you know, all of the benefit, all the financial incentives that Levi's gave to help rebuild the community went directly to the community. So it's been a really great partnership.
When you were at Harvard studying for your master's in public policy, is this what you thought you would do? Go to a town that is so downtrodden, so beaten down, and try to turn it around here? No,
and that's the strange thing. It was never part of the plan. I always wanted to get into public policy, but I never envisioned myself being able to take it on this kind of a role and enjoying it and being successful to some degree. But I think I have the greatest job in the world, but it's certainly not without its challenges.
And you're only paid about $150 a month or something like that?
Yeah, it's certainly not the money or the perks or the prestige or anything, but it offers an incredibly unique chance to participate in a lot of these issues that are afflicting the country right now.
You're going to be involved at the Innovators Summit in a session where it's called Up From Zero, okay? And again, they do call you the revolutionary mayor. What do you want to get across to the folks that are here, and what's kind of the bigger message here?
Sure. Well, one, no community is ever too far gone. No community ever deserves to be abandoned and walked away from. And our story in Braddock, we are coming up from an incredibly low point, and we've demonstrated that you can make a lot of progress and you can come back. That's not to say we'll ever be back what we were, but I think that's the lesson to take away from it, is that no place in this country deserves to be abandoned and walked away from.
Can you make it a thriving economy again?
Well, I certainly, I don't know. I mean, but as long as we keep heading in the right direction, and moving in the right places and making the best decisions possible, I think we're going to continue to improve, but it will never be what it was.
When you look around the country, and I got this from Mayor Mitch Landrieu when I spoke with him, that yes, New Orleans has a special set of problems, but there's a lot of New Orleans situations around the country. Do you feel like that there's a lot of potential Braddocks around the country that if we don't watch very closely?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's like Braddock is a case example of when there was no intervention. When the steel mills collapsed, the region as a whole lost 250,000 jobs. There wasn't any kind of intervention to save the jobs or industries, unlike there was back in 2008. So it's kind of like a contrast between when there's intervention and when there's laissez-faire kind of step back and let things happen.
What, Mayor Fetterman, is the toughest nut to crack? Is it that unemployment? Is it still 30% or around 30%?
Yeah, it's pretty. It trends about 3 times the national average.
So is that your toughest nut to crack?
The toughest nut to crack is just continuing to find ways to improve the community that a lot of people had written off of.
All right, we're going to leave it there. John, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Pleasure to have you. Mayor John Fetterman, he's the mayor of Braddock, Pennsylvania. All right,